Day one of going in and recording, I lost my voice. I can't close my eyes because I've just drank a ton of black tar coffee. He'd just hear the word demon and try to kill it. And she says, "Can you say Levi looks dead in a miniskirt?" Very different. Like that anger runs through everything in Aaron's being for the first 3 seasons.
Now, coverage like no other. Bringing you videos from the event floor. You're watching convention coverage.
Keep you guys waiting, much like Inosuke does in Demon Slayer, right? You see him, you're like, when's he gonna show up?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I was dying up here.
Yeah. How's it going, man? Good to see you.
Doing all right. How are you?
Man, doing great.
Yeah, great to have you back.
Yeah, happy to be here. I was thinking back, and actually, this event is the one I've been to more than any other event. And thank you guys. Thank you guys. It's like
Bryce has been to SacAnime more than any other event.
And I love it. And I think each time just it gets funner and funner. So thank you guys. Yeah, it's been really a great weekend.
So yeah, great. We're glad to have you back, of course. I mean, I just had Trina up here a little while ago, and I mean, I'm thinking when Trina came up, I was like, gosh, what do you talk about with Trina Nishimura? Because over like 300 voices. Where are you at right now? I mean, because you have an amazingly long career as well.
I've lost count. I don't know if I've hit that 300 number. Trina is just an incredible actress, incredible person. Can't speak highly enough about Trina Nishimura. But yeah, I've kind of lost count. I've been a voice actor since I was 8 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah, my dad was working on a show called Power Rangers, if you guys are familiar with that. And I used to love to go to work with him. He had the exact opposite voice of me. He played like big, giant monsters and creatures, and I have Benjamin Button voice acting disease. I sound like I did in middle school. So I used to love to go to the studio and watch him work, and at the end of one of his sessions, they needed a kid's voice, and he's like, "He's a kid, throw him in the booth!" And that's how I became a voice actor.
Right on. Just, inadvertently, there you go.
Yeah,
Fall into it.
right
That's
place,
awesome.
right time. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that moment for myself, so.
You just never know.
I know.
I think of like auditions and opportunities as buying lotto tickets.
Yeah.
And you just want to have as many of those lotto tickets or at-bats or however you want to compare it as you can and hope that your numbers come up.
Yeah, Jason Marsden compared it to gambling earlier. He's like, it's a gamble. You bet on it. You try to get the right number. Sometimes you get the big payout. Other times, not so much.
Yeah, and you just hope you hit something. You
Yeah.
know, I compare it to shooting darts at a dartboard blindfolded as well.
Oh, there you go.
Because with these auditions, like, and I get a lot of these ones, they sometimes they give you a really nice description of the kind of voice they're looking for. Sometimes they give you like an image of the character, and you can kind of come up with a voice that you think would fit that role. But sometimes, and I get this a lot, I get boy, 16, and that's it. Like that could be anything. So you're just kind of guessing, and you hope that whatever you put out there is what whoever is listening to it and casting was looking for. And I feel like sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for until they hear it. So you just keep buying lotto tickets.
Shooting in the dark there.
Shooting darts with blindfolded. Don't recommend it.
So how have you been? I mean, it's been a little while since we've had you back. I mean, what you been up to? How you doing?
I have been talking up a storm since I saw you last.
Oh.
I think it's been a few years now.
I think it's been at least 2 or 3.
Yeah. So, I mean, the one that obviously stands out is Inosuke in Demon Slayer, who I've had so much fun voicing. He's given me an opportunity to explore my deeper range, which has been really, really fun. But day one of going in and recording, I lost my voice. Just gone. Boom, right away. And I'm like, oh no. I got to figure out some tricks to maintain this. So the first thing I learned that I needed to do is a vocal warm-up. And I've never really done vocal warm-ups before, but I needed to with him. So in traffic, here's my vocal warm-up, guys. In traffic, I would try to make eye contact with other drivers and just...
That's got to be... That's got to be weird. What's this guy doing?
Yeah, and they're just parked next to me in LA. They can't get away, and I know it. That's why I try to lock in.
Just randomly cackle at people?
Yeah, it's good times. The other trick I've discovered since I've been here last, what you drink changes your voice. So I've discovered that if I get really disgusting coffee, like black tar in a cup, just a black hole, like the darkest roast that the machines can make. And it's just like this much of it in a cup. So the kind where like you drink it and it makes you angry because it's so bitter, like that's what I have every time I'm voicing Inosuke. Because I just take a sip and I'm like, and that's Inosuke. So it's good times.
His origin is coffee.
That's awesome. Yes. Coffee's so dark it makes you mad.
Well, excellent. That's good to hear. That's the behind the scenes right there. That's what I like to hear.
So you voice both protagonists and antagonists, and my personal favorite being Nagito from Danganronpa. So I was wondering, what did you prefer voicing? Like, do you like voicing protagonists or antagonists better?
I mean, both is my answer. I like working. Really, what you don't see, like I like paying my bills. Like that's a nice thing. You don't see the amount of work it takes to get these projects. So I'm very thankful for all the work I get. And, being able to play both sides is really challenging and fun. So like in Danganronpa, when I play Naegi, like we don't get scripts ahead of time. They don't tell us what's gonna happen in these games. So I'm discovering who died and why they died and solving these mysteries in real time, as Naegi is doing it. So it was like I was watching this murder mystery unfold in my mind. And with Nagito, he's crazy. So it was like I felt like I was playing the Joker, and there were just like all these like very interesting, like nuanced emotions that I could bring out in those times. And it was fun to go like back and forth. And that's one of the really special things about being a voice actor. Like, you could step in that room and be anything, which is really cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the question.
So what I find interesting is that the original Japanese seiyuu who voiced Kirito is also the same voice actor who voiced Inosuke. And
It is.
It is. Both of you did a wonderful job, but if being honest, I feel like that you topped your Japanese counterpart when it comes to voicing Inosuke. But to my general question, what's it like sharing in the same few roles with your Japanese counterpart?
Yeah, so the actor's name is Matsuoka-san, and he's incredibly talented. I'm a big fan of his performances in both, Sword Art Online, Demon Slayer. Also, we share another role in a game that I did recently called Tales of Arise. He voices a character called Law. If you guys are Tales fans, this is the second Tales game I've had a main role in. The first one, Tales of Graces, I played a character named Asbel, who's all about protecting and friendship. And now I get to play Law, who's about punching and meat. So it's good times. But that's another role I share with Matsuoka-san. It's really cool to hear the nuanced differences and how he's changed his voice and changed characters, and I'm just a big fan of him. And I've had the pleasure of actually meeting him a number of times. Really, really great person, so nice, and it's an honor to share these roles with him. I hope that trend continues. I have a few seiyuu that I've actually been able to meet that I share a number of roles with. Nobu, who voices Rin Okumura, and another new role for me, Libe in Black Clover. If you guys didn't know, I voiced Libe. we share those roles together. Also, Kaji-san, who voices Eren Yeager, and Meliodas and Zeldris. So we share those roles, and I think I share about 6 or 7 other with Kaji-san as well. So it's very cool to see that I have these counterparts and I continue to get matched up with them. There must just be like some kind of similarity in our approach or, our tones. And even though they're very different people, like I find these ways to connect with the way they're performing as their roles. So it's interesting and cool. And I love that I've been matched up with such talented actors in Japan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, okay.
Hey, what's up? I love
my
your
God.
cosplay. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay, first of all, I remember the first ever acting voice actor I Googled was you because I kept hearing your voice and I was, who is this guy? He's everywhere. And I was like,
I talk a little bit, I guess.
No, seriously. I mean, I just kept hearing you, even in the small, more smaller characters. I was like, that guy, is that guy? So yeah. So yeah, you're amazing. And my question is, what is that thing that makes you realize yeah, I'm doing what I want to do? Those moments that you're like, yeah, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was going to be a voice actor. In fact, my first passion was martial arts. I was a gym rat all through high school. Spent a lot of time training and competing in Muay Thai. Then I thought, I wanted to be an attorney, as you do. That's a logical
That's
next
quite the
step,
leap, yeah.
Right? And I went to UCLA and studied political science and philosophy. But voice acting has always been around me, and, having 2 parents who were actors, I've always seen that world and been part of that world. And it was during college that I started kind of exploring it a little more and kind of booked a role and booked another one and really started having fun doing it. I think that was the first piece that I really enjoyed it. But really the true moment that I knew I was going to pursue this was for my dad. So my dad passed away, and I had that opportunity to carry on the torch for him. So I did, and I gave it everything I could and didn't look back. So I think when you have that drive and that passion where you're never gonna stop until you accomplish it, that's one thing that's a driving force. And then there's that true fun, true enjoyment of the craft. That's so important also. And I think it was the combination of those things that helped me become successful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and I'm very happy that I went down that path.
Yeah, just one quick thing. I'm actually Mexican, so I have a lot of friends who actually speak Spanish, and it's just
Awesome.
amazing to me that even if they speak Spanish, they really praise your Inosuke every single time. They're like, yeah, but the English stuff for Inosuke is so amazing. So yeah, your voice is just amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's incredible that the energy is transcending languages. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. And thanks for your question.
Hi. Out of all the characters that you voice act, who do you relate to the most?
Ooh, that's a good one. There's a lot of characters I don't relate to, and I have to find something to relate to. I always find that one match in everything, in every one of them, some way to connect to them or speak truthfully as them as I'm performing as them. But I think the one I relate to the most is Rin Okumura when he's happy. A lot of the little things in life just make me really excited. And also with Rin, and it's so interesting, everyone kind of hears voices differently. So as I'm talking to people and signing, people will come up and be like, oh, you sound just like Meliodas, or you sound just like Aaron, or you sound just like Kirito, or you sound just like Rin. To me, inside, and as I just talk normally, I feel like I'm Rin. And that's the character where I would step in the booth and just kind of talk. So yeah, I feel like I relate to Rin in a lot of ways. If you guys have not seen the show Blue Exorcist, There's an awesome Rin Okumura cosplay right there. Look amazing. Highly recommend you check it out. And I'm really trying to manifest a season 3. Like, I've made it very apparent to everyone, like, I really want to play Rin again. Like, when you leave the booth after recording, you kind of feel differently depending on what you're playing. And for me, like, I would play Eren, and I would leave and be angry and just yell at people in traffic. I mean, I play Inosuke, and like I can't close my eyes because I've just drank a ton of black tar coffee. But when I play Rin, I can't stop smiling, and I really love that. So I hope I get that opportunity again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I love your Tokyo Revengers cosplay as well. I play about 20 characters in that show. If you guys like, you can go on a little adventure to try to find me. Usually I'm like one of the kids punching another one and then the kid getting punched as well. So I just beat myself up all over that show.
Hi.
Hi.
My first anime that I ever watched was Seven Deadly Sins. And
Awesome.
if I'm being completely honest, the first ever character that I ever simped for was Meliodas. And
Thanks.
the only reason I got into it is because of your voice. So I've seen practically every anime that you've been in, and your voice is the reason why I'm into this.
Thank you.
And Attack on Titan is my favorite anime, and Aaron Yeager, because of how he's been through so much, has been like inspiring. Because like every time like I get down, I can watch Attack on Titan, and I can see Aaron like going through things like losing his mom and like but still wanting to continue like living and being himself. And
Yeah.
so it's really nice. And then but my question is, out of all the characters that you have voiced, what is the hardest character that you voiced? Like relatable, like the voice itself, like the strain on your voice, things like that.
I mean, they all come with different challenges, but to be honest, when I'm in the booth after I've been cast as a character, I love the process, and I just kind of enjoy myself. You know, you always have a team of people you're working with, so always a director, an engineer, sometimes producers that are part of, you know, other teams that really know the projects deeply. So you have that support there. The challenges of like some of the characters I play, like Kirito speaks in screaming. We would say 15 minutes at the end of every session just to scream as Kirito, to try to achieve those screams that Matsuoka-san was able to achieve, that like you hear them and they give you the chills. Like that was our goal, to try to achieve something that we were happy with, that would you know, be close to that. Eren speaks in screaming. So managing my voice. Inosuke speaks in screaming. I scream a ton, guys. So making sure that like my voice can withstand that is always a challenge. But after that, like, it's just fun. It's like making sure you're in the right mindset and you're approaching the lines the right way. And the puzzle of dubbing is very difficult if you haven't done it a ton, but it's a skill. It's a lot about like, you know, knowing the character, knowing where your character is and the scene, and then kind of memorizing the script, which you've just seen in that moment. So I've gotten very good at memorizing short snippets of words, like 1 or 2 sentences, and then watching the screen and talking as your character is talking on the screen. So it's doing all of that at one time, and after you do it a lot, like it just becomes natural. So I've spent a lot of time inside the booth, and I'm very comfortable in front of a microphone. So yeah, the challenge is making sure that I can scream to those intensities in those particular characters. But when you have really experienced crew also, they know how to kind of manage you. So saving those screams to the end, that's the right choice, because then you just go for it and you can barely talk after.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hey there, I like your Donpachiro Kamaboko cosplay!
Thank you. So I just wanted to start out by saying, like, I recently found Demon Slayer, like when the movie came out. I just started watching it.
Awesome.
And I got addicted to it. And when Inosuke came on, I was like, I recognize that voice. And that leads me to, the anime that I grew up, well, not really grew up watching, but what made me fall in love with anime, and I've seen it many times, was Seven Deadly Sins, and
Awesome.
I loved your voice as Meliodas.
Thank you.
And I just had a question of, was there any like challenge between having to find that voice for Meliodas, seeing as he's really like this old dude, but he looks like this 14-year-old kid?
Yeah. I didn't find the voice for Meliodas until after I was in the studio, after I've been cast as the character. When you're working on anime, you're kind of watching it very closely because you're watching the lip flap and you're trying to get the timing and really live in those moments. And as we were recording on the first day, I noticed something about him. His eyebrows were like up above his head. So one thing that I use is I make the face my characters are making on screen. So it wasn't until I raised my eyebrows so high that it stretched out my vocal cords that I found Meliodas' voice. And funny enough, I play Zeldris, and I lower my eyebrows. It's only eyebrows for that show. So yeah, it was interesting finding it. And once we did, then I was kind of locked in, and I could always get back there.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Was there ever a role that you thought you could have done better in? Like you didn't scream enough, you screamed too much? Was there a role that you had to like, after watching it, you were like, I didn't like that, but they liked it?
I try not to think of it that way. Like I'm not like judging myself because could I have done something different? Sure. But in the moment, that's the actor I was, and that's what came out of my body that day. And there's no going back and kind of changing that and redoing things. So that's kind of where I was in my journey. So could I have done something different in moments? Maybe, but I didn't make those choices. So it's kind of cool to see like growth and how things have changed between what I would do 10 years ago and now. But I don't kind of judge those roles and think, I wish I could adjust that. I think, oh, that's cool. That's where I was as an actor at that time.
Okay.
Thanks. What the? It's another Gunpachiro Kamamoto!
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, God. So my question is, do you have any like really memorable lines just from like any characters that like you still sometimes think about? Like they're funny or they're like really serious. Like one me and my friends would like quote a lot was when Inosuke said, "Let's eat this thing."
Yeah.
It's like our favorite line.
It's
Do
funny
have
you
any
bring
of
that up because that's one of my favorite lines as well. And if you guys aren't sure what he's talking about, so those crows that tell them where to go and follow them all around, they look delicious. I really think Inosuke would enjoy eating that crow. Yeah. So yeah, that line really does stand out. I mean, there's some in kind of every show that are special, so it's hard to narrow it down. But another one in Demon Slayer is, "Look what else I can do!" And then he folds himself backwards. I love that moment. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the show. I mean, sorry, I'm gonna cuss. It's not me. It's Rin Okumura that has a bad mouth. But I mean, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Satan. That's a good one. That'll convince you guys to watch Blue Exorcist. That one really stands out. I mean, another one, Maso Mikita, if you guys have seen Durarara, I got to go into work and say, "Live by the booby, die by the booby." It's a good day at work. I really have a lot of fun, and I think another kind of piece that I've done that showcases how much fun we're having in the studio. Just go online and search SAO bloopers. Do not Google anything I say. Google it. Don't do it. They're disgusting. I found them on Urban Dictionary. It wasn't my fault. I was at Anime Expo, and they're like, "Time for some bloopers." And when you're in the booth, like, you're with the director and an engineer, and I try to say these disgusting things to make them laugh, thinking no one's ever gonna see this. And those are the ones they picked to play in front of 2,000 people. And I was laughing so hard I was crying. It was good times. They're out there on the internet somewhere. But you can tell, like, we're really having a good time in there.
I love the SAO bloopers. They're so funny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, my question is, if you were forced to take over the life of one of your characters, who would you choose?
Not Aaron Yeager. Wow, I don't know. It can be any character from any anime, any video game.
I was thinking of the characters that you voiced.
Yeah, but character
Yeah,
I've
sure,
voiced, I've
sure.
played, but any character I've played.
Sure.
So, a number of years ago, I played a character named Sultan, Jasmine's tiger, in Disney Princess Palace Pets. And it was a mobile game, and what you can do is you can get this really cute pet, and you can brush his hair and give him a bath. That's what I want. Just to be pampered as Sultan the tiger.
Well, thank you.
Bathe me.
So I was wondering what your favorite story arc in Sword Art Online is. My personal favorite is the Phantom Bullet arc.
Yeah, I really like that one too. It's a tough question because I really love the story, and I kind of like change my mind as time passes. But I think in this moment right now, Aincrad is my favorite arc, and it's because of Progressive. Who's seen SAO Progressive, the movie? Cool, not a ton of you guys. I highly recommend it. So it is that Aincrad arc from Asuna's point of view. And Jeremy, by the way, is incredible in this movie. Like, I went to the theater and watched it and literally was texting her like, oh my God, Jeremy, this is so good. Because as we're recording, like, we only see the scenes that we're in, and sometimes I'm in the booth before she is, or in the case of Progressive, she had done about half the movie, maybe a third of the movie, and Kirito doesn't speak as much because this is about her perspective. So I passed up where she was, and then I play just off of myself. I don't have her there, so I didn't hear the majority of her performance, and it's incredible. I mean, blown away. So highly recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it. And because of that, I got just so much more of the story. Like, I understand all these little nuances that were there that we didn't see before. And there's all those time skips and all that stuff that happened in the first arc that I thought, I want those fleshed out. Like, I want to see that. So, yeah, Progressive is that. So currently, at this time, I think that's winning me over. I did love playing Kirito with a female avatar, though. That was a ton of fun. Yeah, it's really hard to choose.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks. Well, hello there, Rin Okumura.
Hello.
I love the cosplay. It's awesome.
Thank you. And thank you for inspiring me to finally finish it.
That's awesome. I'm glad you did.
So, because Rin Okumura is a half-demon, would Inosuke still try to kill him? And if they did fight, who would win?
Oh. Would Inosuke try to kill him? Probably. I don't think Inosuke would stop to think about much. He'd just hear the word demon and try to kill it. Who would win in a fight? I don't know, to be honest with you. Because one thing that I do as an actor and part of my method is I don't read the manga. So, Attack on Titan, I have no idea what's about to happen. I'm really excited for tomorrow. If you guys didn't know, the next episode of the final season hits in Japanese tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to happen, have not seen it, no scripts, nothing. I can't wait to watch. And I haven't been spoiled on what happens later. Same thing with Blue Exorcist. I don't know how strong Rin Okumura gets, and I don't know how strong Inosuke is going to get, because obviously he's been training really hard. I've been watching season 2, and if you guys have seen any of that, yeah, Inosuke's looking pretty ripped. So, not that he wasn't ripped before, but now he's just really ripped. So I don't know. I feel like it would be a really great fight, and I wouldn't be able to talk after.
Thank you.
No worries, thanks.
you.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, man.
So I love Danganronpa. Like when I picked up like the games, like I was like, oh my god, these games are really good. And then when I was getting back into anime in like 2020, I picked up this anime called Blue Exorcist, and I heard Rin. I was just like, oh my god, that's Kamida. That's Makito Kamida. But I really love all the roles that you've done. And my question is, what character or characters are you most proud of voicing?
Oh, wow. I've been very happy with performances in a lot of my projects. I've been really lucky to work with directors and writers and producers that are just really talented and really experienced. And, I can't take full credit for everything. I am one cog in this giant machine that is dubbing of anime. And in the production. So it really takes a talented team to produce something of quality. So I've been really lucky and really fortunate to be matched up with directors like Alex Von David, who directed Blue Exorcist and Sword Art Online and part of Durarara, and Mike McFarland, who directed Attack on Titan. These guys who just have so much experience and challenge me as an actor to bring my best out. So I've been fortunately really proud of a number of the things I've been a part of. So it's hard to narrow it down to one thing.
That's great, and you do great work with your voices. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hello, Bryce.
Hi.
As we were talking yesterday, I wanted to know what has been your experience with doing the audiobooks for Sword Art Online.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys didn't know, SAO has now come out with a few audiobooks, and I was the narrator for the first one, and then I share the second one with Share Me. I thought it was so interesting when they approached me because especially that first light novel is Kirito's perspective. So to have Kirito telling the story, I thought was so cool. I absolutely love the experience. It's very different from dubbing anime. But as I was working on the audiobook, it was like I was reliving those moments from 7, 8 years ago. And I just really loved that. Now I've seen the show a number of times, but going through the process of reading the audiobook and narrating the audiobook and playing all of the characters, like I just have an even deeper, richer understanding of the story, which just made me even more excited to be going in and recording Progressive and knowing that more movies are coming. So it's been an amazing experience, and I hope it's a trend that continues. I'd love to see other shows bring in voice actors that are part of them to be part of these other things around anime, like audiobooks.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. I hope you enjoyed it.
And my question for you is, what's the weirdest thing you've been asked to say as Eren Yeager?
The weirdest thing as Aaron Yeager. I think I've definitely told this story before, but I think one of my favorite moments at a convention and strangest things I've said as Aaron happened in Australia. So I was signing autographs and meeting people, and this very petite girl comes up and says, "Can you say a line for me?" I'm like, "Sure." And she's like, "Can you say something as Aaron?" I'm like, "Of course. What would you like me to say?" And she says, "Can you say Levi looks dead sexy in a miniskirt?" So who am I to tell her no? So I look her straight in the eye and say, "Levi looks in a miniskirt."
Thank you, Bryce.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
So with Seven Deadly Sins, my favorite episode is when they have to go search for Hawk, and Meliodas tricks everyone and says, "Look, I caught him." And everyone gets mad, and Bon thought he caught him. But my question is, and I'm going to word it right for those who haven't seen season 4, why is Meliodas so attached to Elizabeth? Like, why does he have that connection, and why was he so upset when Liz passed? Like, why is he mad about that?
Wow, I mean, I think, and I've played this throughout my entire performance, like, he is truly deeply in love with her. Like, the kind of love that never goes away, that lasts eternities. And I don't want to spoil what happens for people who haven't seen it, but it is so heart-wrenching to see what he's going through. So for me, I have to find something in my life to connect to that. So there's moments where I play characters that have that kind of love, and I play I play like I'm talking to my wife and playing like if my wife was in those positions. Yeah, I've done that a few times. Kirito and Asuna, very much all of the scenes in the cabin, and when, all of that, I think about her, and Meliodas, same thing. So I think he is deeply in love with her, and that's just how I play it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi.
Hey.
Earlier you mentioned you didn't really relate a lot to Eren Yeager, but I was wondering if there was any part of yourself that you do see in Eren Yeager.
Yeah, I mean, I find ways to relate. I mentioned, the experience with the chips. But also, I mean, me in traffic. Like, I very much relate to Eren in those moments. I think, like Eren and I are just very different. Like, that anger runs through everything in Eren's being for the first 3 seasons. And he's very impulsive, and doesn't think very hard about his actions and what he's doing, and just wants to go and kill. So, there's moments that I can find ways of relating to him. But I'm not, I think it would be hard to find someone who is exactly Eren Yeager. And that's what's so fun about being an actor and being able to play something someone that's so different than yourself. And it's also very interesting, and I won't spoil anything, but to play Eren differently, because that anger I've now thought of as coldness as I'm changing the character and growing the character as time is passing, which has been really interesting and fun. And there's moments in season 4 that Eren's saying things that are pretty terrible. Like, for you guys who have seen it, there's a scene with Armin and Mikasa in a room, and there's a table, and as I was saying those things, and they were coming out of my mouth, immediately after I was like, oh! And I could hear Mike going, oh! Like, I hated saying them, and I hated hearing them coming out of the character, but that's what you wanted. I don't know, I don't understand why at this point, but I feel like that's what the scene needed. So it's fun to do that. It's fun to do those things, even if I wouldn't say those things, but to be that character in that moment in time is really fun.
Thank you for answering my question. Also, I love your work as Rin Okumura.
Thank you, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
I really like your work in Blue Exorcist, and I just wanted to know what your favorite Rin Okumura moment is.
Favorite Rin Okumura moment? There's a lot of good ones. Anytime he calls Yukio a four-eyed mole face, good times. I love all the action and the scenes that happen around Mephiland. Like that was really fun. There's a moment where Rin, and I don't even know what's going on around this moment, but he like pokes his head up like out of a vehicle, I think, and he just goes, "What up?" I don't know why, but I always think about that, and it just makes me happy. And in the Kyoto Saga, I got to play Rin Okumura drunk, and that was really fun. So it's hard to narrow it down. Like I could keep on going and naming these moments. Yeah, it just makes me happy to think about that show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My friend and I, we were talking to you yesterday about Aidou.
And
Yes.
how did you find that voice, and what is your favorite little line that he says?
Yes, Aidou from Vampire Knight.
Yes.
So, the voice was kind of a collaboration. You know, we kind of messed with a couple different things, took inspiration from the Japanese, and then kind of made him sound, even though, you know, he's a vampire, he's in this, you know, kind of younger state. So I put his voice kind of in my higher range. And kind of threw a couple things out there, and they're like, we like that, and went with it. My favorite line that really stands out is just, bang. And if you guys haven't seen it, he's doing that to female students. And then they're like passing out because they love him so much. And then there's a ton of them that surround him, and he goes, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, it's good times. Anime. Gotta love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Really.
Thank you, Bryce, for being back.